So we've had 4 great presentations. We don't have a huge amount of time, so what I'm going to do is take 5 or 6 very brief comments or questions. Please try and keep them very brief, okay? Very brief. We'll start with the 2 of you.
Tom, you mentioned the Hong Kong factor. Actually, Beijing was restrained the first 26 days of November because it's APEC and all the G20 summit. But suddenly, on first day, 2 days before the Taipei polling, the Hong Kong police turned into mad dog, and it revived the slogan during the Sunflower, today's Hong Kong, tomorrow's Taipei. It was non-issue suddenly when the Hong Kong police started to beat up on Thursday. So it was more or less a campaign boost to anti-Ma Ying-jeou, anti-unification camp. So this was the Hong Kong factor that you did not pay attention to. Maybe that 2-3% changed to 6 or 3.
Okay, well, I had the same question to Tom also. Actually, before I raise the question, I would like to do a very quick survey. Is that the result of this election disappoint to any one of you here?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Say it again.
Yeah. Is that the election, the result of this election disappoint to any one of you?
It's disappointing.
Yeah, yeah. Tom said he's disappointed.
No. Beijing was disappointed.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
And otherwise, I can tell you the Taiwan democracy program has no position.
Right. Okay. So anyway, there's a.
We're glad democracy works.
My question is that in this election set a very clear picture to the international that people, the voters, they play allegiance to Taiwan. Okay, not to play allegiance to China. That's a very clear picture, and that's explained to the result. Of course, that KoP, come up with perfect timing, and he used a very outstanding campaign strategy, and he stopped the fundraising at a certain point, and then never run the traditional campaign, the banner and those things. Looks very clean and very happy, merry in Taipei. So that I personally consider that's the leader or the model for this election, and that's a good direction for the future Taiwan's election.
Great. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Jason Wang. I'm actually policy analyst here at FSI, but mostly in policy. I think I've been to Taiwan twice in the last month, in October and November. I think this is a perfect storm that people didn't really predict, and part of that is driven by technological innovation. So traditionally, KMT controls the traditional media. And this time around, most of the video clips were transmitted via Facebook and Line and WeChat. So this is like another Arab Spring where people actually will watch videos from people they trust, not the traditional media, because they know the traditional media will be packaged. So basically you have Facebook friends that will relay these critical clips at every single candidate's talks, and then immediately release them to their friends. And so this widely disseminated, and I agree with Professor Fingar's analysis also, that not that much of the economic benefit will trickle down to the common people. And Professor Ke happened to be a common man. He pays his mortgage, he rides his bike to work. He's a doctor who treats both the blue camp and the green camp. And basically, he was being prosecuted for one incident where he established a blood transfusion. I'm also a doctor, so I kind of know the story. He established a blood transfusion protocol in National Taiwan University, but it was not carried out correctly. So he was being demoted. They moved his office from the 4th floor of the building to right next to the morgue. And they were gonna. He was in the basement, so he was actually the scapegoat for the failures of the system. So as a common man, he took a leave of absence from National Taiwan University, no salary, and he just started to use this what he called a parasite campaign technique, where everywhere there's a gathering, he just go there. and start talking and snowballing until he has enough chips to negotiate with the DPP. So this is a common man representing the common struggle of the young people, and the young people just had their future stolen from them because they were trying to pass the trade pact agreement within 30 seconds in the legislature. So the young people say, "Oh, you're stealing our future." So they started the Sunflower movement, and here's another common person who was being prosecuted. So it set up this perfect storm, driven also by technological innovation. So I think this is actually, I don't think Taiwan's election will go back to traditional media anymore, because this thing is so targeted, so effective. And your mention of the cell phones, I mean, people don't carry landlines. And I mean, in health policy, we try to survey people. Nobody picks up their landlines, right? So we don't know how to reach people. It's particularly the traditionally vulnerable population in the United States, like African Americans and Hispanics. They don't have a landline. So this is a big lesson learned, I think, from both from the campaign strategy and the global economic perspective, as well as the tactics. I mean, this is actually a textbook. I just thought it very interesting.
Okay, Charlotte, and then Victor, then I think we may have to come back.
Okay, this is a question for Tom.
Given
the question for Tom. So, given your comment that Beijing has learned to be more reticent with respect to these elections, what are some of the strategies you think they'll use in 2016?
The question for both Dennis and Tom, that I think the biggest shock to Beijing is that Chengdu is no longer an issue. I mean, it's like a referendum, right? And how many people in Taiwan anticipate mainland China will use force in the near future? The related question to Tom is that I think Beijing will have to learn how to communicate with the DPP and to KoP or grassroots people, which is not a Communist Party's culture. It's extremely hard for them to communicate with them. I mean, in case something doesn't go right, what would be triggering for them to use force? Because these are the biggest topic in China's social media for the last few days. I'm getting these like day in, day out. People already talking about, I mean, of course, those various people that it's great. Let them go independent. Give us excuse to use force. You know.
I don't think Tsai Ing-wen is going to oblige them.
This is not a government officials, but the social media people can express their views because they could not understand what's going on, and they could not know how to communicate with the DPP and the grassroots people. So this is already surfacing out. So it seems to me there are not a lot of people in Taiwan concerning about it.
Okay, so.